Okay, so the schedule would say that, okay, besides sitting on our desks, thank you. Schedule would say reviewing for this large exams that we'll be having or coming up next week. There's no way of getting around this. I don't like Monday evaluations either, but provided with track meets, we try to pick the time where we're holding you accountable for the content or information, as well as having the maximum number of students in here. So, and I understand that next Tuesday, okay, which would be the 18th, you head to Howard. You're scheduled to go to Howard on, again, on Tuesday. So with that in mind, I see that there's a track meet on Monday, but that is junior high. And then, let's see here. And of course, some of you are gone again on Thursday going to Menno. So I will do my best. Well, I won't have any problems getting the rest of these papers corrected. Tonight, it was over the orders that you were evaluated for on Thursday. So you still will have questions dealing with the orders of mammals, but the phylogeny organization, that's with all the boxes and the characteristics, that format won't be until your final for this semester, okay? We'll still have questions pertaining to these orders of mammals. It's just what the format will be. Multiple choice and matching, not the boxes with the characteristics. That won't be until your final exam. Okay, so what will be coming up on Monday then? Well, general questions that deal with mammals, the dog video that we wrote questions down and about. We'll be going, you have that opportunity to explore those answers because we might have questions pertaining to those. And then what we also have is the need to finish this chapter. The terms that we have over here is for the zoology class, so you don't need to write this content down. Okay. So here is approximately where we left off with, I believe. And here, as you can see, when we're talking about viviparous mammals, okay, those would be your marsupials, okay, koala bears, kangaroos, opossums. I know some of you might say possums, which is fine, but I just refer to them as opossums, okay. But the majority of mammals, okay, is, as you can see, are placentals, which means these mammals develop inside the female's uterus. And with that, some of you farmers are going through that process right now with your cow and calving season, to where maybe as every day goes by, you're having some of the mother cattle giving birth to their newborn calves. And of course, with this kind of weather, it's kind of difficult. Yes, it is warm, but still, if the calf is born overnight, it could probably be kind of difficult, or it could be tough for these young calves to develop because it is such cold weather getting them into a dry environment. Of course, you already know this content already. We're not going to bore you with that of the details. There's one that's left out up here. I believe the terminology is ovoviviparous or oviparous. Those are just a select few mammals like the echidna or the spiny anteater and the duck-billed platypus. Okay. So when we talk about being endothermic, is just the opposite, of course, of ectothermic. Okay. Because if we are talking about not animals or mammals, we're talking about animals that are ectothermic. You're referring to fish, okay, amphibians, and then reptiles, but not birds. Birds are also endothermic, like that of mammals and humans. In other words, have the ability to produce that heat internally. So not only do these animals, are they able to, per se, create this heat internally, but also dissipate it as well. So this font might be a little small. So I will go ahead and enlarge that here quickly. At least that's the idea. come on here. Okay, I'll just hit pause here for just a moment. Okay, hopefully that's a little easier to see now. When we're talking about animals, including birds, mammals, and humans, being endothermic, again, means producing your own body heat, okay? And in order to do that, the metabolism has to be quite high, okay? So they can conserve and regulate their own body heat, which means create it from metabolism or create it from movement with your muscles, or cooling themselves down by sweating or panting, which then allows them to live in, of course, a wide variety of different environments, from extremely cold, like you saw examples with the largest land carnivore, the polar bear, and also the largest mammal, the blue whale, and then also your Arctic fox, which then also has the ability to conserve its own body heat just because of its hair or coat traps that air. Even though it might not seem like it's very warm, that air that's trapped in there does provide insulation for it. Okay, so us as humans as well, strenuous activity can be maintained by animals that are warm-blooded because we have the ability to dissipate that heat, us as humans or mammals as well, because they can either sweat or carry a large volume of blood to the surface where that heat then is dissipated. Okay, and then let's see here. So what are some other adaptations? In order to be warm-blooded or endothermic, you have to have large amounts of oxygen, okay? And that has to be circulated then throughout the body. And that's why we have multiple body systems that are adapted to do that. A respiratory system is very complex, a circulatory system, which is very complex, and a digestive system like we're talking about here. Okay, demands well-developed lungs, advanced digestive and circulatory systems. So the temperature of a mammal is often, many times, above its environment. So, which would not be that difficult to do for that body temperature of a polar bear or an Arctic fox to actually be above its outside temperature, because I would think the average all year round may get up to possibly 30 degrees, where sometimes it gets warmer, maybe up to the 50s, but certainly a lot colder down into negative values then. Okay, we're up to 8 minutes. I didn't have a whole lot of content to go over. We'll go further in detail tomorrow when we're all here, because again, this is just a type of, I wouldn't say Band-Aid, but it's just the best way for us to convey this information and pass this along to yourself. So tomorrow, we'll wrap this up with the respiratory system, with that of these mammals. We'll start with these adaptations, and then what we want you to know about that of the mammalian heart. All right, so that's all I have. We will catch up to you next time.